why you should never be ashamed of a 1-star review. Now, for a lot of us, we don't like to leave ourselves open to criticism. If you can imagine a writer that has been working on a book for weeks, months and years, it's almost probably like a child at this stage for them. They know it that well. And, if you are taking a little child and you're kind of nudging it into school on the first day, of course you wanted to meet loads of friends on the first day, you want to have a lovely time, you want to come back, you want them to come back at the end of the day saying that they had a great time, that they had made loads of friends and they're very happy and school is a wonderful place. But as a parent, maybe if you're not a parent, you probably have a niece or a nephew or some relation that has gone to school on the first day, and they probably have come home in tears. They hate the place, people are treating them badly, they were bullied or whatever, but things weren't as sweet as you hoped it would be. And it is sometimes like that when you take your little product or your little book out online, whether that's to the Amazon Kindle store or whether that's selling it online. You would love it to have a perfect time. You'd love everybody to love it, but you're going to meet the bullies, you're going to meet the people who don't like you, you're going to meet all these different people in the stores, and they are going to criticize your work. Doesn't matter how good it is or how good of a person you are, you are going to face criticism. So that is one thing you need to keep in mind. It doesn't matter what you create, you are going to be criticized on it. I always bring up the example of the Harry Potter books that have made an absolute fortune for everybody, and you would assume that book series would get an endless amount of 5-star reviews. But if you don't believe me, go over to the Amazon store, do a search on the books and have a look at the number of 1-star, 2 stars and 3-star reviews, and people openly slating the book, saying that it's horrible, the writing is terrible, how can you write these books, how can so many people like these books, all those different things. And you would assume that, with a book at that level, everybody should love it. But if you think, well, if the Harry Potter books are getting slated in the Amazon store, what chance do you have with your little book? So that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, another thing to keep in mind is, if you are like the parent of that book or that course, sometimes you have to cut the umbilical cord and sometimes you have to let them go free. You have to look at that product or that book as a frozen moment in your life. You might have written that book today, but in 6 months from now, in a year from now, in maybe 10 courses from now, you could be a far more of an expert, you could be a far better writer, you could be way ahead of where you are right now. But unfortunately, that book or that course is frozen in time. It'll never change, it'll never improve unless you actually go back to it again and you edit it and you correct those mistakes or try and make it better. But that book is kind of floating out there in cyberspace or on somebody's shelf, and it's a frozen moment in time. And the courses that you create in a couple of years' time, they're going to be the exact same. They are going to be you frozen in that moment in time. And again, you may be open to criticism at that level too. So think about that. That book that you're creating right now is a reflection of where you are right now, and it's no reflection on you. The majority of criticism you get will be targeted at the book and won't actually be targeted at you. And that's something you need to keep in mind. This criticism you're getting, although it hurts, although you have put your best efforts into that book, it's a criticism on the book or the course. It's not a criticism on you, unless somebody maybe publicly, drags you into the review. 99 times out of 100, those are just reviews on the book or the product, and just leave it at that. Don't take it to heart that it is pointing at you, because, as I said, you're always going to get better. Whatever you have made right now, it could be terrible, but that's no reflection on the person you are going to be in a few years' time. And another important thing to keep in mind is, you'll never find a critic with passion. If you have spent the last couple of years putting a book together, and you have got up early to do it, or you have stayed up late in the evening, there's a lot of passion that probably kept you going. Maybe that was a book or something that you had in mind for years, that you always wanted to love, and the feeling that you get when you actually hit the publish button and have taken that kind of idea out of your head, created something physical with it and sent it out there, is an amazing thing to do. But for a lot of critics, you'll never find a critic who will actually go and create a book, or you'll never find a critic who will go and create a course. Why? Because then they'll leave themselves open to criticism. And as I said there, you'll never find a critic with passion. You know, what critic is going to jump out of bed at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and sit down and start writing? No, because it's a hard thing to do. And the fact that you have actually done it yourself puts you way, way above that person. Even though you may be getting negative reviews right now, the fact that you've actually taken action on that idea of yours, created something physical with it, in my eyes puts you light years ahead of that person, because it's so easy to criticize somebody. It's so easy to say, oh, I don't like that. It's so easy to type that out on the keyboard, you know. Well, on the other extreme, it takes a lot of effort to actually create something and to have the balls to do it, and then have the balls to publicly, you know, self-publish it up, get it out there where everybody can see it. And, you know, that's something you need to keep in mind. So, if you are worried, or, you know, 1-star reviews are getting you down, keep that in mind. First of all, you're never going to please everyone. Everybody, you're going to be like that little child going to school. Somebody's not going to like the look of their hair or the book they're carrying or something like that, and there's nothing you can do about that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Another thing then is critics don't have any passion, and the fact that you've actually gone out there and created something is fantastic and puts you light years ahead of that other person. And again, the criticism mostly is aimed at your product or your book rather than you, so don't take it to heart. You know, cut the umbilical cord. Remember that that book or that course is a frozen moment in time. The majority of times you can't go back and change it. If you can, and maybe in a couple of years' time, you can always go back and re-edit or reshoot the videos or whatever, and then you can bring it up to the level you're at now. But just remember that was a moment in time, frozen at the talent or the experience you had now, and is no reflection of the person you're going to be in the 6 months, the 2 years, the 3 years or whatever, when you are constantly beating on your craft and becoming better and better. That is just a frozen moment, and unfortunately isn't something you can change. So it's better just to move on and to work on the next project instead. So I hope that's given you a little bit of confidence. I hope it's, you know, made you not worry as much about the negative reviews, because, you know, sometimes somebody gets a bad book review, a 1-star review, and it totally crushes them, and they never come back, they never write another book. And sometimes, you know, many a good writer has gone that way, unfortunately, because some critic with no passion found the easiest thing to do was just to slate off something that they have created with a nasty remark, and it just completely took the wind out of their sail and stopped them in their track. So don't give in to the critics, don't give them any power over you. Keep chugging along, keep improving your skills, you know, keep beating on your craft, and as I said, in the weeks, months and years from now, you're going to be in a far better position than you are because you have kept in it. So if you'd like to know more about me, or you'd like to know more about these videos, if you do a search for writecom.com, that's WRITECOME.com, you'll find the content all over the web, all over YouTube and all over iTunes. Now at the moment we have a great report which is called Words to Wealth, and if you drop by the Writecom site you can pick up a copy of it, and in it I'm going to show you how anyone, and I mean anyone, can make money from their keyboard. I'm going to show you that you don't even need to be a great writer to make money from your words, and I am also going to show you how to make money by only using a handful of words. Now, if that intrigues you, or if you would like to put me up to the challenge, go over there, grab the free report, download it, give it a read, and let me know what you think. So, as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care, have a great day. Bye bye.